The goal of the Adult Guardianship Bill of Rights is to outline in the law the rights that every American retains, even while under a full guardianship. There are constitutional and human rights that cannot and should not be removed, including due process of the law, privacy, and to participate in decisions affecting their care.
Hello, I'm Anna Pritchett, State Advocacy Director for AARP Alabama. Welcome to our new series highlighting advocacy issues we are working on here in the state of Alabama. In the background, we have my colleague Dorothy Dorton from South Alabama providing technical and production support. So thank you, Dorothy. And our guest today is Beth Russo, a passionate advocate for guardianship reform and a key figure in the development of the Model Bill of Rights for adults with a guardian. Today, Beth will shed a light on the importance of this Bill of Rights, why AARP supports it, and why it deserves our collective support. So thank you so much, Beth, and welcome.
Thanks for having me, Anna.
Great. So if we'll put the slides up and we'll get it going. To start with, Beth, could you just provide a brief overview of the Model Bill of Rights for adults with a guardian and its significance in the context of guardianship reform, which we've been working on here in Alabama for several years?
Yeah, absolutely. In the United States, there's been a historical focus on due process protections at the initiation of a guardianship, which is certainly very, very important. However, post-judgment rights have been overlooked, and the Model Bill of Rights fills this void. It establishes fundamental rights for adults with guardians. It's a collaborative effort by the National Guardianship Network to ensure that individuals under guardianship have their rights honored and respected. And so the National Guardianship Network is comprised of 13 national organizations advocating for quality guardianship. And they convened a task force following the 4th National Guardianship Summit in 2021. This diverse task force included representatives from various organizations, and they met virtually for 10 sessions from January through June of 2022. They extensively researched existing statements, court decisions, and international conventions to create a comprehensive and understandable Bill of Rights.
Thank you, Beth. And so now we'll talk about how the bill categorizes the rights into basically 3 tiers. Let's start with that first tier of rights that are always retained. And can you provide some insight into this tier?
Yeah, definitely. So the first tier includes access to justice rights. And then there's also basic human rights and decision-making rights. But access to justice ensures ongoing court involvement in these cases. It allows individuals with guardians to raise concerns and request reviews. This tier emphasizes the right to legal representation and addresses the historical barrier of cost. It also highlights the need for impartial assessments and accommodations to facilitate effective communication. Yep.
Terrific. And then moving on to the second tier, core human rights. So what can you tell us about this section of the bill?
Yep. These rights are numbered 9 through 15, and they encompass basic human values such as dignity, freedom from abuse, independence, religious freedom, privacy, safe environments, and sexual expression. It emphasizes that these rights remain intact following a finding of decisional incapacity.
And we're in tier 3 decision-making rights, so I'll let you continue.
Yep. So this tier covers the rights 16 to 21, and these rights emphasize that adults with guardians maintain the right to participate in decisions made on their behalf. It places responsibility on guardians to respect and advocate for the adult's goals, needs, and preferences, ensuring that decisions that guardians make align with the individual's well-being and financial security. And so then there's another part to the Bill of Rights. There's not a slide on it right now, but there is another part that informs individuals about rights that may be restricted. And certain personal rights, like having a driver's license, voting, traveling, education, employment, are all rights that historically may be restricted based on specific findings of necessity by the court. However, each right carries a distinct capacity determination. And so ideally, courts must approve any restrictions on these rights. Due process protections, including legal representation and capacity assessments, apply whenever restricting these rights.
And Beth, if you want to go ahead and go to the comparison with what we currently have here in Alabama.
Yep. And so Alabama has a lot of rights already within its statutes, but they, such as you can only have a guardianship in Alabama that is designed to maximize an individual's self-reliance and independence. And so the orders are supposed to be limited and be only given to the extent necessary by the individual's circumstance. And that is exemplary of the core human rights that are promoted by this Bill of Rights. And then with regards to decision-making rights, individuals in Alabama, when a guardian is charged with making decisions on behalf of a person, in Alabama, they aren't actually explicitly charged with advocating on the individual's behalf. And so the Model Bill of Rights has that statement in there that specifically charges the guardian with doing that advocacy. Also, guardianship is intended to maximize self-reliance, as I said before, but individuals involved with guardianships aren't necessarily specifically given that right currently in statute. It's alluded to because of the other language that's in the statute, but it's not specifically there. The Model Bill of Rights helps make sure that it's there. And then another decision-making right that is in the Model Bill of Rights is the duty of conservators to act prudently. And that is another right that is in statute, but maybe not as explicitly as it could be.
All right. Thank you. So why, I was going to ask you, Beth, so why is this so important for AARP and our volunteers to advocate on, since we do have some of those rights that are already in existence, but it's still adding in and emphasizing the things that we should be taking advantage of or should be paying attention to. But could you explain a little bit of why it's so important for us to advocate on this behalf?
Yeah, because the Model Bill of Rights, it's crucial for ensuring the dignity and autonomy and the rights of individuals who have guardians already. Even though people want to help other people, and they often do that by protecting people and not allowing them, despite their best intentions, oftentimes people aren't afforded the opportunity to recognize the rights that we all take for granted every day without having a guardian. And so having the Model Bill of Rights helps raise awareness of these situations. And so people can contribute by raising awareness and engaging in these issues.
All right. Thank you. Dorothy, on our next slide. So thank you for joining us today. I want to thank you to Beth and Dorothy for helping out, and for Beth for speaking on this important issue. I wanted to remind you all to join the fight. AARP Alabama is only as strong as you make us. So please keep up to date on our issues by visiting our website. It's aarp.org/AL Advocacy. Sign up for our e-alerts. You can see the website there. And of course, text 22777 to get our texting alerts from AARP and Alabama. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, and we will be back soon with a new issue to explain to everybody and talk about what's going on here in Alabama. Thank you for joining us.